welcome back to another Crafty Like a Fox video. Today I'm excited to share with you a project that we've been working on this week. I've been trying to put together something fun to share with family and friends since we can't give them a hug and squeeze them and love on them in person, but I thought it would be fun to do something that would bring them a smile and some joy in this time. The idea I came up with is the Positivity Petunia project, where we drop off a small little container with a petunia in it on our friend's doorstep, and then give them a call, see if they're home, and if so, let them know there's something exciting waiting for them that they can check out on their porch or patio, and hopefully we can catch their reaction and give them away from the safe distance of our car. So the first thing that I needed to do was find something to pot the petunias in. At Dollar Tree, I found plastic planters that even came with a saucer, so that's fantastic. But they're a little plain, and I thought it'd be fun to dress them up a bit. In Inkscape, I created a small design that says Austin and Alexis's Positivity Petunia, and it has the year 2020, so if they use the planter again in the future, they can be reminded of this crazy year that we've had. I uploaded the design into Cricut and then cut out white vinyl decals that we can transfer onto the planters. For the petunias themselves, I ordered them from Stuckey's Greenhouse. They've offered a great curbside service for the last few weeks, so I was able to give them my order over the phone, let them know that I wanted to have some beautiful petunias that were in bloom, let them pick out whatever colors they thought were pretty. I just wanted something cheery and that was already in bloom. So they picked out a great selection and brought those to my vehicle. I paid over the phone when I got there, so I didn't have to interact with anyone face to face, which was fantastic. And so I was able to bring those beautiful petunias home, and now they're ready to be potted up. So the first thing I'll show you is how I transfer the vinyl decals over to the pots, and from there we will get the petunias put in the planters and start distributing them to our friends and family. I hope you enjoy watching this process, and if it's something that you have the means to do safely, maybe think about doing something similar. Now that I have the contact paper on the vinyl cutout, I'm gonna start removing the backing. This just takes a little bit of time and patience to make sure that each individual letter and component sticks to the contact paper. Obviously, the contact paper or transfer tape that you use, you don't want to be too sticky so that it easily removes from the graphic once you've applied it to your surface. So it takes a little coaxing to make sure that you get everything on there. But it keeps everything oriented exactly the way that you want it. Alright, so there is our transfer. Okay, so I'm just going to get my pot set up here. I'm just using an Allen wrench to kind of tuck behind it to keep it from rolling around on me too much. Got a 6-sided pencil here. I'll throw on the other side. How about? Kitty, what you doing? Aside. Let's go ahead and get this lined up one more time. Now there's a little bit of a curve to the planter. It's tapered, so I like to get it set and really try to kind of make sure I've got it as square as possible. Everything's not going to end up wrapping completely straight around here. So you just want to make sure that you don't start from one side and work towards the other. It's best to lay it down starting in the middle and working out, and then that way at least it's symmetrical. So I'm just going to get this smoothed on here really well. I put my hand inside to get a little pressure behind it. Just kind of gently press it on. There's also a little bit of texture to these containers, so I really want to make sure I've got good contact and that vinyl kind of forms to all of that texture. All right, so grand reveal. We can slowly remove this, and again, I'll make sure that it's not stickier than this surface here. Adhering it to. Pull it off slowly, and then I'll just go over everything really quick with another light press. Make sure everything's on there. All right, so there is the final graphic. Turned out pretty good. We are also making these with kind of a terracotta, orangish red color. And so white was a nice contrast for both of them. I went ahead and cut everything out of white. Now I just need to do, I don't know, 12 more or so. And I think we will be ready to start getting stuff planted up. Okay, so now we have the graphics put on all of the pots and we are ready to plant them up. First, I'll give you a little introduction to the two plants that I'm using. The first one is Petunia Honey. It grows 6 to 10 inches tall, and it grows about 14 inches wide, so it should fill this pot and spill over the edges very nicely. The other variety I have is Petunia Giant Pink, and it's aptly named. These blossoms are very large for petunias. This one also grows 6 to 10 inches tall and has a width of about 12 inches. So again, should fill the pot up nicely and spill over the edges a little bit. What's wonderful about the Petunias is that unlike older varieties, they don't need to be deadheaded. So every time a bloom is spent, the plant releases it, it falls down into the planter, and it keeps producing new blooms. You don't need to go through and manually pull the spent blooms off or deadhead them in order to keep the plant both looking beautiful and producing new blooms. So this, I think, is a great variety to use if you are going to be giving a gift to someone. All it needs is consistent water and a little fertilizer throughout the season, and they should grow beautifully in a full sun location. So very easy to maintain. Okay. So I've got a good potting soil here. You want to make sure to use a potting soil and not a garden soil or soil that you dig out of your own yard and garden. You want to make sure that it is a potting soil so it's designed to drain really well. None of these plants appreciate sitting in standing water. So this is a nice mix. It should help hold on to some moisture without holding on to too much water. So let's see how many we have of each one. All right, I have 8 of the honey variety, and I have 8 of the red containers. So I think I'm going to pair these together. I think those actually would look really nice together, a nice kind of warm tone combination. And then I have 7 of the giant pinks, so we'll be putting those in the green planters today. So I'm going to hold on to this tag to make sure that I can include it with the final planter. I want the person I'm giving it to be able to see what the care instructions are for it if they want to look into that. And you can see there's some nice healthy roots coming out the bottom here. So I'm just going to softly loosen this up and then just kind of tease the roots a little bit just so that they don't want to continue to grow in a spiral and choke themselves off. So I'm going to make sure that I've got this so that the crown of the plant is going to be just below the lip of the container. And then I'll go ahead and backfill with some more potting soil to get it all tucked in, nice and cozy. All right, all that needs is a healthy drink and it will be ready to go. Again, I am going to just include this in the back here. All right, and there we have our first planter. Again, I'm getting the crown of the plant just below the lip of the planter, maybe by about an inch or so, and then I'm bringing the soil up so that it's being planted at the same depth that it was in its nursery can. So I'm mainly just kind of filling in around the outside. I'm not adding any on top of it. Alright, so now I'm going to continue by planting up the honey petunias in the kind of red terracotta colored planters. Again, just to run through it, I'm going to fill this with potting soil, leaving a little room for the plant. I happen to be using up the last of a couple partial bags of potting soil that I have, and both of them already have a slow release fertilizer in them. If they did not, I would be adding in a granular slow release fertilizer to help last through the first couple months of the season. And Proven Winners has a good one. I know there's the good Biotone starter fertilizer as well. So I'd recommend, if you're using a basic potting soil that hasn't already been amended with anything, to put a slow release fertilizer in there. Especially if you're doing this to give as a gift, it will help kind of make the plants do well even if they don't get a high level of maintenance. Don't want to give work to someone as a present. Alright, and there's our first honey petunia. I just love the color of that, and it looks so nice. There's almost just kind of a tinge of terracotta in some of those blooms, and I think that it goes perfectly with these little pots. So here are all of the petunias potted up. I'm just going to give them a good thorough watering to get them settled in, and they'll be ready to go to their new homes.